you all watched our last video and we made bread there too. I'm new with this game. Making bread is very easy and tastes great. Last time we made an artisan bread, which was 2 loaves of bread, and made super easy, and they're utterly fantastic. Today we're going to make 2 other loaves of bread, but these will be big round loaves of bread, and they're going to be unbelievable also. I hope. You've never made them before, and what we're going to do is on the second loaf we're going to change it up a little bit and go off the rails and create our own recipe. I'm a brand new bread maker, never really did any of this before. My second attempt at baking bread, and I'm going wild. So hopefully it comes out well. All right, now let's start. Let's start with the ingredients, what we're going to need today. Again, one of the beautiful things about bread making is how easy it is, right? So what do we need? We're going to use 4 cups of flour. Now, make sure you get, it doesn't matter what kind of flour, all-purpose, bread flour, just make sure it's 4 cups of flour, not compressed cups, light, fluffy cups of flour. We're going to need 1 tablespoon of, I use sea salt, you can use Himalayan salt, you can use table salt, any kind of salt you want. I'm using sea salt, I like sea salt. 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, that's all you need, there you go. And 2 cups of water. Now, if you remember, I said I'm going to go off the charts and a little off the rails and make it my own. So after we combine everything and then we have to separate it, I am going to add separate ingredients to one bowl. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But let's start combining. So in one bowl, we're going to take the hot water. And when I say hot water, it's really got to be hot water. Let your tap, like I did, run for until you can just put your finger in it and you go, it's hot. Put the yeast in. The salt. I'm going to mix it. Try to get it all dissolved. Use your spatula to break up some of the clumps of yeast. Okay. Now once it's mixed up, we're going to take it and combine the flour and the yeast together. Now, I use the wrong bowl, but I'm going to pour it all in this bowl now. This is the actual bowl I was going to use for the second dough, but I'll have to get another one. Because I don't think that bowl is big enough for when this rises. Okay, so now that's mixed, and now we're going to add the flour. And I always recommend using a strong wooden spatula because it's going to get thick, it's going to get tough to mix, and you're going to need to be able to mix it. So we're just going to mix it up, and it's getting, I can already see it, I know you guys can't right now, but it's already getting into a consistency. Now they say, unlike the other one that we made, this is supposed to be a sticky dough. We're going to find out together what that really means because I've never really made a sticky dough bread before. I just really made one before this. And we're getting it in. I'm not a bread expert, but I'm not sure kind of. It said I got to 4 cups of flour in, but it's very. Oh, that, you know what? I think it's supposed to be very wet dough. That's probably what makes it sticky. Okay, so here's the dough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take about half and put it into this bowl because it's dry, and in this bowl we're going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to try to put a little about half in. This is where it's off the charts. This is not what you're supposed to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of rosemary and a quarter teaspoon of thyme and some olive oil. Now, when you use oil, the bread is going to pick up the flavor of the oil. So if you don't want any flavor, use a vegetable oil. But I'm going purposely with olive oil because I think it's going to make it nice with the thyme and the rosemary. And here again, I'm just making this up as I go along. I don't know how much you'll put in. I put half a teaspoon in. So we're going to mix this up really fast. Incorporate it all. I can smell the thyme and the rosemary. Yeah, I'm going to see about scraping some of this off so it all stays in as much bread dough as we can get. Alright, and I'm also going to scrape it off more on the side of this so we can get a good seal with the saran wrap. And just push it down a little bit, get all off the sides. One final quick stir. Rest off. Alright, that's going to get in this bowl. This is a glass bowl. And if you remember from last week, I am not very good with this, so. Hey, that worked. Look at that. Just cover it. Nice and tight. And on this one, the saran wrap doesn't work. So we're going to use some crescent seal. It's on a plastic bowl. I found that crescent seal works a lot better. This is the one I really had trouble with. Couldn't even whip it last time. Can't get out of the box this time. Losing the battle with the crescent seal, folks. It's deja vu all over again. I think Yogi Berra said that. Okay. They are both sealed. They are both ready to go. We're going to come back in about 2 hours or thereabouts. And hopefully they would have both doubled in size. See you in a couple hours. Alright, so it's been a little bit more than 2 hours. You can leave it sit out on the counter for 2, 3, 4 hours. You know, but I go for the two and a half hours. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And you take your saran wrap off. Put it over there. And you can see there's a little bit of bubbles on there, not many, which is fine. It's a little loose, which I'm hoping is a good thing. Again, remember, never made this before. And this is the one with the oil in it. What I'm going to do, when you do now, is we're going to take it out, have to put a little flour in your hand so it doesn't get it, make it into a little ball, and we're going to put it on top of a cookie sheet that I've got with parchment paper on it. And after we do that, we let it sit 40 minutes. And it'll rise again, and we'll preheat the oven to 450 degrees, and that's what we're going to do right now. So, get a little flour in my hands. So, okay, put a little in the thing. Still very loose. See how this comes out. always try to use flour, but I don't understand this. It's never works for me. It's supposed to just come out and make it to like a little ball. That's not really working either. So this could be our first major epic fail in bread making. We're still going to try to make it into a little ball right here. Add some more flour. Get all this off, as much off my hands as I can. This ball is not really a ball, and we're losing more dough than we're keeping. Now this is the one I put the olive oil on, so maybe that has something to do with it. No idea. But we're gonna. It's not a ball. It's supposed to be a ball. It's not. I'm going to go rinse my hands off. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back, and then I will attempt the other one. So we got this one here. Not really happy with it. That's the one again that we put the olive oil in. I really went off the rails on. This is the other one. Still looks loose. And I have a feeling, again, not being the bread expert, that maybe it's not enough flour in. This is super loose. Maybe when it sits out. And this we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try to take it out. I don't know. I've seen people use a spatula. I'm not sure. Or I'm just going to go back with the flour method. Just put a little flour on the table. You're supposed to be able to roll it into a ball, and then once it's in a ball, you can put it on the other tray and let it rise also. Well, I tell you, this method keeps your fingers clean. Alright, we're going to go back to the flour method. Flour on top of the bread. Flour on the hands. Hopefully it's enough. Let's see if we can pick this one on up. Nope. It's the same problem. I think it's just we just need a lot more flour in the mixture. Because look at this, is just another mess. But we will see what happens after you bake it. Maybe through the power of baking magic, it comes out. So if this doesn't work, we don't give up. We still put the video out so you can see it, because everybody fails. Not going to be perfect your first time, may not be perfect your third time, but eventually we will get it there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let them both sit for 40 minutes and rest, and hopefully rise some more. In the meantime, we will then preheat our oven to 450. Actually, I've got 2 ovens. I'm fortunate, so I'm going to bake them both at the same time. We're going to bake about half an hour. So I'll see you in about 40 minutes when they're risen, and hopefully I'll be all cleaned up when I see you again. Alright, I don't know if you can see them, but they are not looking good. They're looking flat. Could be a big, fat, doughy, bready cookie for all I know. So we have these bread baking pans, and you're not supposed to do this, but it's not supposed to do this either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bread on the parchment paper, just try to lift it up, put it in. Now, hopefully, I'm going to do it with the other one also. This gives us a little bit of structure, a little bit of shape, so it does not look like the mess that it is right now. So, like I said, we are, all of us, learning on the fly, see what happens. Sorry for the noise, but if you couldn't see it before, what a mess. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know if I should, give me an idea, I don't know if I should spread it out a little bit. These would be very small, and I don't want to combine them because they're two different flavors. So now they're going to sit for 40 minutes, turn the oven on, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, it's been 40 minutes. Got the oven up to 450 degrees. They didn't really double in size, but they definitely got bigger. I'm not quite sure. They firmed up a little bit, not great. Now, it's not how you're supposed to do it. It would have been great if I was able to use a pizza stone or a cookie sheet, but you know what? Making lemonade out of the lemons, put them in the loaf pans. That, my dad was so nice to give me last week, 86 years old, rocking strong, love you, Dad. So, but we're gonna prepare these and finish them off just like we would the perfect round loaves. So, on this one, the original, what we're going to do is we're going to take a sharp knife, and I learned this, spray a little non-stick cooking spray on it, and you've got to make some slits in it. And the reason you do that is, yes, it makes it look pretty, but when it expands, it doesn't explode, and we don't want it to explode. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of melted butter, brush it over the top. Again, this you don't have to do for the bread. This is a little optional thing that we're going to do right now. But butter's good, and we're going to see how this comes out. But not only are we going to put butter on, we're going to put a little sesame seeds on there too. You're going to shake them on. Just coat it however much you like. Alright? This one's done. Ready to go in the oven. Now here's the one that we played around for a little bit. I'm not quite sure if you can see it. I'm going to come relatively close by. Alright? It's still loose. It did not firm up. Definitely got bigger in size. I'm going to do the same thing. Put some slits in it. It's so hydrated, and it's supposed to be hydrated, but I think it's hydrated a little too much. And now, one way to make it really look artisan and old world is just sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. Now, we're not doing it with the other one, so you're going to come out totally different. Alright? Now, they're ready to go. Now, they're supposed to be crusty and fluffy. There's a secret to making that happen. I always forget to grab this. My pot holder, because I already got the oven on. In the oven, on the bottom, put a baking tray and fill it up with water. I use hot boiling water, so it gives you a nice steam. And actually, I'm not sure if you can see it right now, but it's already steaming. And now we're going to take the bread, we'll put them in the oven. Now, they're supposed to cook for 30 minutes. Now, again, we'll see how they come out. We're going to put them in for 30 minutes. We'll look at them and see how they come out. And I'll see you in about half an hour. 30 minutes came, and then they came out of the oven. I think they look great, better than I ever expected. They've been sitting on the cooling rack for about 5-6 minutes now. Let me show you. I mean, from where they were to how they came out, I think they look great. Now look at, they were supposed to be round loaves, but we did a great job. You know, everything, you got to be able to be flexible. You got to go with the flow. You got to see what's working. And that's what we did. So what I'm going to do now is, ooh, it's still nice and warm. I'm going to cut a small piece off. This is it's not really Italian, but it's got the olive oil in it along with the herbs and things. And look, I don't know if you can see, but look how beautiful and soft and nice on the inside it is. Spectacular. So, I like my bread two ways. So I'm going to cut it again. The best, as we all know, with a dash of olive oil in there. Let's give it a whirl. Oh wow. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is so crunchy, so soft. I really like the lines that came through on it. Unbelievable. The other way, a lot of people like their bread, and I don't want to go on the wrong side of it, but a little bit of butter or margarine. That is good eating. Now, my dad always said, celebrate your successes, celebrate everything, even if it's not 100% the way it's supposed to be. We made it fantastic. It really is great. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's celebrate together. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Suggestions on maybe why it was too hydrated, things like that. Subscribe to our channel, put them in our comment box, and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much for watching. Salud.